Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bajuka Ball Radio. And it's very unusual for me to just sit here and talk to you guys for more than once a week, because usually I like to be like doing something else. But we have some very interesting news coming out of Wizards of the Coast. And when is a plane not a plane? Well, it's usually when it's going down and burning. So, because we call that a travesty. They have decided to change. If you haven't heard the news, they've decided to change the plane of Kaladesh's the plane of Kaladesh. They've decided to change the name to Avishkar. I'm Avishkar. Avishkar. I'm not real certain on that last part, but that's how the pronunciation guide has it. So, Avishkar is the new name of Kaladesh. And if you want to read the article, I'll have it, down in the description of the video. But let's go on ahead and get into this article just a little bit. In the recently released Planeswalker's Guide to Aether Drift, you'll notice that the plane formerly named Kaladesh is now named Avishkar. While that guide goes into the in-universe reason for this change, we wanted to share the real world reasons. So they have decided to go on ahead and put it somewhere else, and I'm gonna go there too. And so when they first started working on Aether Drift, we were excited for Magic to return to one of the players' most beloved planes, a bright and hopeful world of invention that took inspiration from real world India. We knew we had heard feedback at the release of the original Kaladesh that the set carried unfortunate connotations in some dialects of the Hindi language, and we wanted to ensure our return to the plane was done thoughtfully and respectfully. So as an early step in building the Aether Drift set, we engaged a group of subject matter and language experts to work with us to help us guide us, and as we built the set, our goal was to find a way to honor the spirit of the plane and its real-world inspiration. Apparently, in the next paragraph, it dissects what Kaladesh or Kala Desh actually means, and they didn't want that particular, connotations and derogatory colorist remarks. Instead, they decided to take Aether Drift as an opportunity to implement a new name. We generated a host of possible names, and they got with other people, and together they came up with Avishkar, meaning invention. And yeah, that's how they settled on that. And everything going forward from this point is of old Kaladesh, pretty much. It's pretty much Avishkar's new Kaladesh. It's like old Capenna is a different name, and new Capenna is the name that it has now. That's pretty wild. But yeah, cards like Invasion of Kaladesh or Chandra Fire of Kaladesh will keep those names. We will not use the term Kaladesh anymore going forward, except to refer to past products in the storyline. Avishkar bore its previous name. So let's go ahead and go to the Planeswalker Guide to Aether Drift. So let's see, where is it at? Let's see. Does it just send us? Yeah, it just sends us back. So if you go to the Planeswalker Guide, it'll, it's a whole article, and this is the meat and potatoes where I wanted to get to. So welcome to the Planeswalker's Guide to Aether Drift. The guide will take you on a tour of the Multiverse's new premier interplanar racing event, the Giafer Grand Prix. If you say Grand Prix, then you're a Prix, because let's not get into that one. Part 1 will get you acquainted with the modern Giaper Grand Prix, the history of the event, and the 10 Grand Prix teams taking part in this year's race. Part 2 will take a brief look at the host planes of the Giafer Grand Prix, Avishkar, Amonkhet, and Muraganda. So what I was actually more excited for is that I seen a teaser for a deck for Amonkhet, and I'm just like, I'm excited now because it is actually a thing apparently that it's going to be a, I guess, an undead themed deck. So that's something to be excited for you deadheads out there like me. Anyways, back to it. While their entries will dive more into recent events and histories of their planes, you should know a couple things up front. Avishkar is the new name for the plane formerly known as Kaladesh, which you can read more here, and that's the article. The consulate that led Kaladesh has been done away with following a popular, nearly bloodless revolution. The plane has been united under a new planar government, the Avishkar Assembly, and its capital remains the city of Giapur. Naktamun stands on Amonkhet, which I thought it was going to fall because of the wall fell. The plane has been united under a new planar. Okay, never mind, wrong one. The Luxa flows clear and clean. Hazaret, the locust god, and the scarab god are the last of the Bolus era gods who remain. New deities have appeared in the form of Ketramos and Sabasunin. I'm interested to see who those are. Muraganda, despite being a host plane of the Grand Prix, does not have a team in the race, which Muraganda is like super, super, like, earthy. It's like real, like, be with the nature type people. Uh, a Grand Prix history began decades ago as the Giapur Sprint, an informal, unsanctioned race adjacent to the Inventors Fair. The sprint was held at night and dispatched its participants across Giapur, racing from checkpoint to checkpoint, collecting marks on their race itineraries. The winner was the first to cross the final checkpoint with their itinerary signed, indicating to the judges that they crossed each checkpoint. The event was held annually, attracting couriers, aether smugglers, kinetic artists, daring engineers, dashing pilots, and other misfits, revolutionaries and radicals looking to test their limits and limits of their machines. Together, these participants named themselves the New Culture Collective, or the NCC. The NCC arose in the city of Giapur, a haven of radical culture, artistic, and academic thought. Home to a myriad of revolutionary ideologies, the NCC broadly adopted the position that what the consulate prohibited they should pursue. Their leaders issued new statements, proclamations, and manifestos from behind masks and pseudonyms. I guess that's how that word is. Evading the consulate's enforcers as they worked to foment man, revolutionary fervor that attacked not just Avishkar's, nay Kaladesh, academic institutions, but the repressive consulate that administered the planar affairs. In addition to the races, shows, and papers that the new culture organized, they also agitated among student groups. Maybe I just can't read, and my English is horrible, but man, some of these words do not fit. Their most popular recruiting measure, however, was the Giapur Sprint. That's how it started. Some years touting these arrests as evidence of their social control. Where do they get into? Okay, this is the brand new one. Giapur depicted in Aether Drift is the second annual, so they've only been doing it for like 2 years. Officially. Beskar Assembly aims to build on the successes of the inaugural GGP by extending the festivities out of Giapur and Avishkar, inviting teams and delegations from across the multiverse. Yeah. Checkpoints established by the race record. Record what teams cross them through them, ensuring that cheating is on paper impossible. Yay. The victor is determined in the simplest, most straightforward way possible. The first team to cross the finish line wins. Okay, so ranked in order of prestige from most to least. The Grand Prix, the focus of Aether Drift. The GP Aspire, some events and teams and interactions seen in the Aether Drift. 3 top division, 4 class 1, 5 class 2, 6 class 3, and 7 exhibition. Yeah, so that's the whole day, pretty much. The 10 teams, and they're fighting for something called the Aether Spark, so that's pretty cool. I'm most excited for them to be going back to Amonkhet, because that is probably ugh, that's so dumb. It looks like Tron. Do you guys like Tron? Yeah, that's what this is. It's Tron with, like racing across the universe. But that is going to be it for today. I know I kind of rambled on right there at the end, but I wanted to kind of get a little deep into it, because Aether Drift looks very interesting. I like the art. I like the art a lot. The art is gorgeous, but it looks like it's going to be a interesting set, and we can finally take a breath because we have not had a set come out since last month. I mean, Pioneer Masters for me didn't even count because I only grabbed a few cards from the arena release. So I mean, that's all I'm interested in. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty kind of quiet right now. Besides this little debacle. I mean, why are you going to change the name? What do you guys think of the name change? Do you think it was kind of useless? Are you still going to call it Kaladesh? Are you going to call it New Kaladesh? I feel like they should have, I feel like this is a step in a direction. Whether or not it's a good direction, ain't no telling. But this article was written by Miguel Lopez for the Guide to the Aether Drift, and the Why We Changed the Name was written by Wizards of the Coast themselves. So, with that all being said, I will see you guys next time on the radio.